Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind that. It's your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe. Hit that notification bell so you know when I go live and when I upload more videos like this one. Sorry, that's my phone. All right, guys. So I forgot to plug in my headphones. Please give me one moment. Today, we are going to be going over the latest episode of The Shy, Season 5, episode number 6. And that is called Bring It On Home to Me. Okay, let's see who's in the building. Hi, Daria, and what's up, Support Gaming? You guys are my late birds. I love it. Well, I'm going to call y'all night owls, of course. All right, y'all, let's get into this, okay? Because the episode was all right. I don't know what y'all think. How y'all thought about this episode? It was okay because it was, I don't want to say it was a filler. I believe we're building up. You know what I'm saying? But it was all right. Anyway, so the episode starts off with, first of all, a bunch of sex, which y'all already know. If y'all follow me, you know Miss K does not care about all the sex, okay? And they was getting it in. You had Emmett and Keisha, of course, which I don't want to see. You had Darnell and Jada, and we had Tiff and Rob. Oh, and let's not forget Trig and Fatima already, okay, wasting no time, honey. Hey, Karen Jones. Wasting no time, guys. But let's get into this conversation right here that takes place between Jada and Darnell. They getting it in, they having fun, okay? They're trying to work this thing out. So Darnell says something pretty serious, might have caught Jada off guard. And he says, listen, I'm ready to take this relationship to the next level. And she's like, what's that? And he says, well, I'm ready to split bills, you know what I'm saying, and move in. And she was like, really? Like, she already told Swade that she wasn't trying to move in with nobody. She's kind of very comfortable in her ways and she's used to living alone. But, he was very serious. But the one thing that she hits him with is, the next man that lives with me is going to be my husband, right? And that shut him right on up and he ain't had nothing to say. So it must have ruffled his feathers too, because he had a whole attitude, and we will talk about that a little later. So now we get to this scene with Emmett and Keisha, and guys, I already told y'all I'm not here for this relationship. I'm sorry. You know what? Remember the time before when she went to like drop off the money for the wedding and stuff like that for her mom's wedding with Dre? And I guess to pay for the catering or whatever. And Tiff was there. And her and Tiff was not friends. And Tiff was kind of looking at her like, girl, like, bye. You know what I'm saying? Because she know they had a past. And that moment when she was leaving and Emmett was telling her, I'm always going to be here for you, whatever he was saying, I used to think like, they would be cuter together, because you could see that he really cares about her and all this stuff. But she was already dealing with Nuck at the time, right? And those were the days when I was like, yeah, they would be so cute together. But now that it's under these circumstances, I'm just not feeling it. I don't know. I'm just not. All right. So anyway, they're talking and they're saying, we have to, well, Keisha is saying we got to tell Tiff. Like the next thing to do is tell Tiff. And before I get into that part and Emmett's response, I also want to mention that Keisha was like, hold up, I just realized that we have 4 kids between us. So one positive thing that I will say about this whole situation, their union, is that they have love for one another's children. That's one of the best things. They love each other for real. And, they have a history. It's genuine. And they love each other's kids. So that's another thing that makes them a good match. But because of the circumstances, like I said, it's not, they ruined it for me, guys. That's how I feel. They ruined it for me. Okay. So Support Gaming says, wait, so you like Tiff and Emmett better than Keisha and Emmett? No, I don't like the circumstances. I don't think they did a good thing for this. It's too much drama and it makes it way more complicated. It would have been nice if they would have just not made Keisha and Tiff friends. Like, why did they have to do that? So Here we go. Now, Emmett is saying, look, I don't have to tell her nothing. She's living with a random dude. She never told me nothing. So I don't deserve her. And I don't, I don't need to tell her nothing. I don't owe her anything. And so he's saying, Keisha's saying, well, she's my friend, right? And I kind of feel like she's your friend, yes. And she's absolutely right that she should tell. But before she slept with Emmett, she should have told Keisha what was going on. I've been spending time with him. I was over there helping with the kids, wrapping the gifts and everything. And we're feelings are starting to show, right? Like, get the girl prepared. Ugh. Hey, JT. So I mean, look, it's a mess, guys. It's a freaking hot mess. And I wonder if this relationship is actually going to work out. That's what I want to know. I wonder, is it going to work out? All right. So yeah, he's saying I don't have to tell her nothing. She's with a random dude. And Keisha's saying, sorry, honestly, I'm probably going to keep getting the girls' names mixed up between Keisha and Tiffany. So please forgive me. So Keisha is saying he's not a random dude. And I think that he's the one for her. And he was like, yeah, that's cool, but why are we talking about them? So even that response right there, I doubt if he wants Tiff anymore, but that response right there was kind of like, it made me wonder, like, do you not want to hear that? Anywho, so Neuro Lay, how are you? It says, right, friend code. Yes. And this is definitely, I don't know how it is with guys. I doubt if, a guy, if you're married, especially, or it's your baby moms, you definitely don't want your friend dealing with, your ex, right? But for girls, it's just like, it doesn't matter. It's the girl code, most of us. I don't know about everybody. Some people probably don't give a dag on. All right. So, and then we have this situation right here after Fatima and Vic finished getting it in. She's like, I feel like a mistress and all of this. And he's like, well, you think I want this to be a secret? And she says, well, do you? And he didn't say anything. So we just really need to figure out, Trig, what the heck you want to do. I mean, he has made it clear that he's trying to do whatever he can to win this election right now. Not to say on the selling your soul kind of level, but he has already agreed and signed up to this whole little front that he got going on with Tiffany. Now, some people, they do not trust this woman, Fatima. Okay. I don't know how to feel about her. I do see her possibly being somebody that outs him, like, just blows the whole thing up, but at the same time, I'm wondering if Lena Waithe wants to have, somebody like a trans woman representing something like that, like basically somebody that's just negative, or just not a good person. I don't know. So we're just gonna have to see, guys. Sorry. Let's move on. So now we have Maisha, and she's letting Jemma hear her song. And she's like, oh, this is good. And you just need a hook. And Fatima is like, I'm not messing up my stuff. I don't need no hook. And she was like, well, you need something to, people to remember you by or remember the song. And Maisha was kind of big-headed at this moment. She was like, they're going to remember me, and I'm like, okay, Maisha, love you, baby. But, deflate the balloon just a little bit, boo, just a little bit. You calm down. So she was like, Jemma says, you asked for my help. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me, I burped. I don't know. Anyway, she said, you asked for my help. And she was like, no, I didn't. I asked you to listen to it, and I wanted you to say it was good. And Jim was like, well, you said you wanted my feedback, and I'm going to send you a playlist and let you hear what some good, catchy hooks sound like. Maisha says, okay, you can send it, but that doesn't mean that, I'm going to like it or whatever, or I'm going to change it or add a hook, So the bottom line here is, before we get out of this scene, the girls are saying, Jemma was saying, we can't have this whole thing going where I'm just basically your yes man. Like, we have to be honest, right? So Maisha said, okay, what you gonna do about that baby? And Jemma said, I don't know. So then Maisha says, okay, whatever it is, I'm gonna be here for you. So what I do want to say about their relationship is that I actually like the fact that they're becoming friends. I remember when they first met, they definitely bumped heads. You know, we got Maisha from the south side and Jemma from the north side. So, and then, you know, Jemma had to call her, I'm sorry, Maisha had to call Jemma out a few times because remember, she was that fake revolutionary trying to act like she knew the struggle, you know, did not know anything because she's a privileged child, right? So I do kind of like the fact that they came together. And that's obviously because she's not with Jake. But anyway, so we did see later on that she wound up adding a hook to the track, and Maisha liked it, and so she was appreciative of the feedback and the help that Jemma was giving. So we're gonna see where this is gonna go, guys. All right. Now, next we have Darnell, who got a whole attitude. A whole attitude. I call you later. Walking by her, and she's like, Darnell, what is going on? And he's like, what woman? She's like, don't talk to me like that. I like the fact that she didn't kind of like let him, the way he was speaking to her, turn into an argument or escalate. Because remember, they're saying we're trying to do things a little differently. So she's like, don't talk to me like that. You know, I don't want things to be the way it normally is or has been with us. And he said, what are you talking about? She said, where we break up, right? So he said, okay, so here's a challenge for you. Why don't you take me out? And she said, I never thought about that. So sure, I'll take you out, because he's saying, look, it's going to, this whole thing, if we're going to do this, things need to be reciprocated. And she said, okay, I hear you. And he said, all right, well, let me know which red lobster you going to take me to. And she was like, no, since I'm the one taking you out, I'm going to pick the place. So let's see what y'all talking about before we move on. Support Gamer says, you can tell this is likely the final season because the show got Emmett and Keisha back together. Yes, probably so. Lauren Greer, hey, Maisha done got bougie. Don't do that. JT, how Tiff gonna tell Rob Emmett messy because they not divorced, but she moved in and slept with Rob first. Very, very true. Very, very true. Okay, so now speaking of Tiff, so she is telling Rob that she wants to meet his connect, and he's like, why? Like, my connect is somebody that's very discreet. And she's just like, it's because I feel like I work for you. And he said, no, you know, we're partners, which I didn't know, guys. You know, as far as I knew, she was always one of his biggest clients, and her and Dom are supposed to be working together. So how all of a sudden are they now partners? Like, please help me out, make it make sense, please. I don't like when they do stuff like this. Okay, so all of a sudden you don't really see her and Dom together. We haven't seen Dom all season long. We finally see her now. We will talk about her soon, but I'm just talking about this right now. Like, how are they partners now? But you know, Rob is saying, okay, fine, I'm gonna hook you up. So she seemed like she was happy about that, and we'll get back to that a little later. So here we go. Dom is here. Like I said before, I guess we had to, you know, imagine that she was the one doing all the cooking the whole time without anybody freaking letting us know that she was there. All right. And look, I like how her presence, right, is showing us that she's taking it she's being a good sport about the whole situation being left for Emmett's mom. Like, she doesn't really give a crap. I mean, you could tell, listen, when she had sex with Emmett, she didn't really care either. Like, she was just like, whatever, it was nothing to me. So she's basically doing the same thing. And she's like, listen, if your father was honest with me and let me know that he was feeling your mom, shoot, we could have had a little threesome going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, could have been in on that action. So it's funny to see her, you know, acting like this. But anyway, in this scene, she's basically giving him some good advice. And, you know, she says everything falls into place when you tell the truth, right? So he basically came to her. First of all, he didn't come to her. He came into work, and there was a problem with like the burners and stuff like that. So she can see that there was something wrong. So she says, sit down. What is going on? And he's like, it's a whole big mess. I'm basically in a pickle. And she said, you always in something, you know? So but she says, listen, one thing I'll say is that whatever it is, it cannot be anything crazier than what we've been through. Like, me and you had sex. I left you for your father. And then your dad left me for your mom. Like, all of this is that's crazy. So when he tells her that him and Keisha got back together, she was like, oh, wow. And then he said, and Keisha wants to tell Tiff. And she's like, yeah, it's really messy, but she is right, you know. And she said, y'all Negroes always trying to, you know, y'all always screwing up and never want to, you know, be honest about the situation. And he said, I came clean about you. And I love how she was like, yeah, and look where it got you, right where you supposed to be, you know. So that's basically me saying, yeah, the truth will set you free and all this stuff. So she really helped him to see the light. All right, let me get this off though. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Matthew, hey, says Dom is on her business tip. It looks like an understanding in the situation. The verdict is not out on her yet. We will see. What do you mean by that? What do you mean the verdict is not out? Tommy gonna be pissed when you find out Keisha Dom is still alive. Really? I didn't mean to even highlight that. See, there's an example of what I was talking about last week. Support. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so now we have Trig, and he's at the church with Tierra. You know, they're putting up a front and everything. They're meeting with people, and they're like, do we get your vote? Or can I count on your vote? Can I count on your support? You know, this is what they got to do all the time with this campaign thing. Okay, so he goes into the chapel. He gets, you know, he walks away. He goes into the chapel and he's taking a picture of himself. And then obviously he's thinking about Fatima, and he's like, you know, what do you think? You know, this is what he's texting her. So then Papa's father comes in and he's like, that Tierra is something else, you know, basically giving her props that she's a good woman and things of that nature. And he's like, I just sure hope that the rumors are not true. And Trig is like, what are you talking about? You know, basically that the relationship is not real, that it's a front. Okay. And Victor is like, I'm a man of my word and all of this. And he's just like, okay, you know, just do right in the eyes of God or something like that, he said. But him saying this, Papa's father saying this, it's really pointing towards the fact that stuff is about to be blown up. Okay, like it's gonna get out, because if there's a rumor already circulating around, it's like, oh shoot, here we go. And another thing is, where did that rumor come from? You know, because who knew about this? The only person that we know for sure that knew about this was his little boo, Fatima. So he really, really needs to be careful. He shouldn't have even slept with that lady, okay? Like, seriously. Oh, Matthew says Dom might tempt him or his father again. Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I was thinking about that. So it's not really that the verdict is out about Dom, right? Because we see that she's pretty much like a man eater. She could just do what she need to do and move the heck on. She is like, listen, I don't need nobody. I'm a, you know, if I want to just do what I want to do with you and then move, get my stuff off, and that's it, then that's what I'm gonna do. No feelings attached. But it's the fathers, right? Not the fathers. It's Emmett. Really, I'm not really concerned about Darnell. I'm more concerned with Emmett. Darnell had her, like, you know what I'm saying, was in a relationship with her. I don't see him being tempted to go back because he was too busy thinking about somebody else while he was smashing her. So I doubt that. But I am concerned about Emmett falling back into that situation. I hope that doesn't happen, but I did think about that. So yeah. Hey Tamika, how are you? Thanks for joining. Lawrence Gray says, dude, if Darnell goes back to Dom, I'm gonna laugh so hard, bro. Okie dokie. So in this episode was like an end of the series cameo party. It was like, name that Pokemon. Straight oh, you know, here you go, Lawrence, every time. Anyway, like I was saying, we don't know where this whole situation is going when it comes to Fatima. Have no idea, right? So we are going to see somebody is behind this. All right. So next we have Emmett, who has seen the light now because of Dom, and he comes to Keisha's dorm and he's like, oh, we gotta tell Tiff. And she's like, yeah, me girl, I know, like, duh. What made you see the light? And he said Dom. And I kind of thought she was gonna have like some kind of expression on her face, like she wasn't too comfortable with that, but it passed over. And so now they're just sitting like, yeah, we definitely got to tell her, are you scared? Yep, I'm scared. And woo, all of this. So here we go, guys. So now we have Tiff, and she's supposed to be meeting up with the supplier, but instead she sees Nuck. And then Nuck, first of all, let's say this, that I've been wondering where the heck all the gang members have been for the past 2 seasons now, I think. Where they been? So now we have Nuck, and he's back, and he looks like he's elevated a little bit, and he's a little more, he bossed up more. How about that, right? But we do find out that he is not the supplier. He says he's the middleman. And in order for Tiff to get to Q, she gotta go through him. Now, when she first sat down, she's like, I want to meet my man supplier. So he had snapped his fingers like, get over here. So she had to stand up, get patted down, and all that stuff. And she's like, what are you doing? And then he said, well, you coming up in here just saying it like that all out in the open means you might be wearing a wire. Okay. So then when he sees that there's nothing there, he said, okay, well, clearly you're not the ops, but you just stupid. And she's like, I'm not stupid. I just wasn't thinking. Okay. So that was that, guys. I honestly don't know what to think about all of that. Like I'm back on this whole trying to figure Rob out. I don't trust this guy. And first of all, he's very laid back and seems very cool about everything and kind of nonchalant, and then going to send her in there, oh, first of all, this man, he likes to be very discreet. And it was just weird, guys. JT, yes, he did. He said Q. So thank you for pointing that out, because what do you mean Q? Are you talking about Quentin? Because he did say, Nuck did say, if you lucky that you made that mistake with me, because if you would have did that with Q, he would have laid you out. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, guys. It's just, like I said, weird for me. Don't understand what Rob is up to. I always kind of feel like he has some kind of ulterior motives. I don't know. I don't know. I'm very lost by him. Karen Jones says, why does she need to meet the plug? Right. Tiffany is feeling like she needs to have some kind of independence. That's what she told him. So I guess she's out here just trying to find it. Maybe her and Dom they're not connected anymore. I don't know what in the world is going on, but now that she's not married to Emmett, or she's about to get a divorce, maybe she's just, she's still very young, so she's trying to find her way. That's what it looks like to me, but I don't know. All of a sudden she wants to meet the supplier, but like she said, I don't want to feel like I'm working for you. And I don't blame her, though, because like I said, she started off with him being a client of hers. So where is this all going? I'm done. So then she gets a call from Emmett, and he's like, listen, we have to talk. Because she's like, not now, Emmett. And he's like, we got to talk, though, for real. You need to get over here. She said, if this is one last little ploy or trick to try to get me back, I don't want to hear it, because I don't feel like hearing you beg right now. I'm like, oh gosh, like she's very confident, honey. But no, boo, he has gotten over you. Anyway, before all of this, though, she mentioned to her nonchalant man, Rob, that Nuck is crazy. Like, what are you trying to do? Get me killed or something like that? They patted me down, all of this stuff. And plus, he is the reason why Keisha was abducted, because she was going on her way to see him when it happened. Okay. So he's like, ain't nobody about to get killed. Like, calm down. You've been watching too many movies. I think he said Goodfellas or something like that. But whatever. So we're going to move on. So she basically is getting ready to go see Emmett. He says it's important. We have to talk. And, she's saying all this is on speakerphone. Rob can hear it. And look, he's just cool as a cucumber. He doesn't care. Everything all right. And another thing is always seems like he's high. And it's kind of like, how do you have a relationship with somebody that's always high? So you don't really know how they are when they're sober. Like, this is nuts to me. I need answers when it comes to Rob. I do. Okay, so now she meets up with Emmett and she's like, why are we not meeting at the apartment? And he said, because we need to talk in a public place. So she is looking very concerned, like, what the heck is going on? And he just comes out with it and he says, me and Keisha want to be together. Woo! And she was like, Emmett, really? Like, I felt for her, guys. Y'all know I be saying what I gotta say about Tiff and, say she's a hoe and all of this stuff. But I felt for her. Okay, I really did, because she said, why though? Like, of all the people, did you have to sleep with her? First, here's the question. She said, I thought you were celibate. And I love how she asked this question because he didn't tell her yet that they had sex, but he was like, oh, I decided to break it or something like that, he said, right? And she said, so you effed her? And he like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, I did not come. She was like, how long has this been going on? He said, I didn't call you here to be interrogated. And she said, well, I want to know, was y'all doing this while we were together? And he said, no. All right. So then, like I said, she's just looking at him like, I cannot believe this is freaking happening. Like, why would you want to, why her? And then he says, it's not just sex between us, so in a way, it's almost like he's telling her that he loves he loves Keisha. So I was like, oh my gosh, this has to be very hurtful, even though she's supposed to be over Emmett, but this is her friend. How in the heck is she supposed to coexist in this situation? It's too much. It's too much. All right. So she gets up and she's like, wow, so that morning that I left you, was you dreaming about her? He didn't have nothing to say, so she already knew what that was all about. So she's like, screw you, and that's that. So JT says that Tiff is mad that Emmett moved on. It's deeper than that, in my opinion. It's the fact that it's Keisha. She said any other girl in Chicago. Why does it have to be Keisha? She just finished telling Rob that Keisha is one of her closest friends, right? Like, did she just finish telling Rob that, or she literally just said this to Emmett? Regardless, I don't remember, but still. Tamika Zen said Tiff is doing too much. She's annoying. Yeah, she has those annoying ways, doesn't she? I'm a little afraid. I don't know. I've always felt like her getting with Rob was not a good look. I don't know. It just maybe I'm off. I don't know, guys, but it's weird for me. So now we're at another fundraiser at the Rock, and Jake, he tells his mother that he has a baby on the way. He got Jemma pregnant. And she's like, what? But her main thing is, did you tell your brother, Victor? And James, oh my gosh, sorry. What is his name? I don't forgot his name already, guys. So Jake, he is like, no, I'm scared to tell him and everything. And so, she's saying, just go on ahead and tell him. But I will say that you will not be like a bad parent like me. You're going to definitely be a good parent to your child. And he said, you did the best you can. Now, I understand he's trying to be nice to his mom, but, if she made the choice to become an addict, then that's not really doing the best you can. I'm sorry. It's not. But, neither here nor there. I'm not trying to poke at nobody that has dealt with those situations. It is a tough situation. But listen, I'm going to leave that alone. So now we have, this is the place that Jada took her man, okay? She took him to go stepping, and he loved it. Like, she had him, like, did she have him blindfolded, or she just kind of had his eyes? I don't remember, but came in there, he didn't see what was going on, and he had this big old smile on his face, so he was very excited about it, and they had a wonderful time. They went back home, and she's like, oh, the night is not over. She went and tried to put on something sexy, came back, the man was sleeping, honey, knocked out, baby. So This is not that young whippersnapper that you had, boo. You want to have to like probably don't have time to change into nothing. You're just gonna have to go right on into it. But I appreciate the effort. Okay, so now we're back at the fundraiser. Now remember, in the earlier scene, Victor was practicing his little speech. Okay, now he was going to use his mother and say that the journey that he's on right now is very similar to her journey and her struggle with alcoholism. And Tiara tells him that he has to be vulnerable in this moment. So the mom, she asks if she can watch, talking about Peaches, she asks if she could watch. And he was, like, okay, whatever. So long story short, guys, we get to this scene and he's at the actual event and he decides not to use his mom as an example. He decides to use Rashad. And he tells people that they, the judges and the jury and everybody counted him out. But look at him now. He is a man who he is definitely someone who's helpful in the community. He has a heart for boys like him because he wants to change and he wants to help them not, go on that same path that he was on. So he definitely gave him his flowers in this moment. I loved it. And I love the fact that they have Jason Weaver he's just cleaned up, looking as handsome as ever, not that dusty way that they were trying to make him look, So I am happy that they have him like this now. And I'm even more happier that he's a positive influence, right? Like he's definitely turned around. Like we weren't sure what they were going to do. Was he going to come in and be a problem? But it kind of showed in last season that he wasn't a problem. It was a little shaky at first, but then you kind of saw that, that it's going to be okay with him on here, especially when we saw him and Imani get along and stuff like that. All right. Hey, Matthew, thank you so much for the super sticker. Really appreciate it. Blessings. So Noro Lay says Keisha was being two-faced. She left the good dude lying, saying she needs to find herself only to go back to baby mama job. Thank you for that. Because we're not gonna just let Keisha slide with this whole thing. We're not. If I could give it to get in Tiff's behind, I can definitely get in Keisha's behind as well. So that whole, that was just that was a lie, like you said. It's a whole good dude, right? But you don't want him. It was, that whole thing was sad. And the fact that letter that he wrote to her, that text that he gave her, was saying that it's very sad that nobody expects a good dude, right? No, she wants that, then hey, shout out to Nita who says that Jada wants that struggle. Jada wants that struggle love, but now that we see how Jada is, I don't think she wants to struggle love, but I'm going to say that Keisha, she might want that struggle love because she decided not to start over with this new guy. But like you said, it's okay if you don't want him, if you're really trying to find yourself. And all of this getting it in that they're doing, I don't know. Like I said, with all the trauma, she was trapped up in somebody's basement getting screwed left and right. I just don't see how she's able to just get flipped around and, all of this stuff going on between her and Emmett. I don't like it. To me, it's not great. All right, it's not great. Tamika says, I love that scene. I love how Rashad has grown. Me too. Love it so much. Okay, so here's the thing though. Peaches, she felt some way. She felt some type of way about that, all right? So she confronts Vic and she's like, what happened? And he said, I wasn't ready to be vulnerable, to be honest, this story is not just about you, because she would say, so you think I'm going to relapse? And he was like, no, like, I don't know what's going to happen. This is not just your story. This is me and Jake's story too. We don't know how it's going to end. So I don't want to tell this story yet. And I think we need to give it some more time. So it's so true that, everything that he's saying is very, very, very true. It's too soon. We need you to be sober a little longer before we could just put you up on there and say, give this whole encouraging, inspiring story. Like, I mean, but she didn't get it. And she felt, obviously, like I said, she felt some type of way. And, you know, she walked off. And I was very afraid because she didn't say anything. And I said, oh gosh, I really hope that she's not going to relapse, you know, but I don't think so. Hey, Inga. What'd she say? Hey, y'all, still up this late? Yes, honey. Yes. Gonna be getting out of here soon, though, because I know folks got to go to work and stuff like that. Havana says Tiff is getting karma for getting pregnant with EJ by Emmett when he was in a relationship with Keisha in the past. She is stupid for befriending Keisha when she did that in the past. I don't know if that's how the timeline works, though. I mean, because we don't know how long Keisha and Emmett were together. Remember, this baby, right, that they had, he probably was one when Tiff dropped him on the doorstep. And this was in the first season, and they needed a DNA test and all of that stuff. Okay. So this sound like it was like a smash and dash type of situation. And he wanted a DNA test because he said the baby could belong to anybody in the south side of Chicago, you know, any dude, you know what I'm saying? And we know that Keisha and Emmett, they were smashing in the room and everything, right? We don't know how long they were together. It didn't seem like they were really having that much of a relationship that long either, because when the mom came home talking about Jada and Keisha was all up under the bed, she's like, who is this girl under the bed? Like, you know, come from under the bed. You know, I know you were under there, girl. What's your name? You know? So I don't think they were together. But that's a good point, though. But I don't think they were together. And then also when you go back and you hear the stories, they make it seem like there was actually a relationship between Tiff and Emmett, which I don't think so. Okay. I remember that it was a situation where he didn't even think that baby was his. But we're going to leave that alone and let them keep on doing what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Tamika says Peaches needs to put her grown woman panties on. She took the easy way out, in my opinion, especially after the talk she just had with Jay. Exactly. Like, why did you do that? You know? Lawrence Greer says Jada is retarded. Tiff is retarded. Tracy fine behind is retarded. The nutcase who talks to the moon is definitely retarded. Oh my gosh. Jemma is retarded and about to have a retard. Oh my gosh. Lawrence, stop. What am I doing, Support Gaming? What am I doing to you? Okay. So yeah, like I said, she walked off. Okay, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna get back to that a little later. So now we have Roz, and she's making this announcement, and she over here talking about some, oh, you know, thank you. Tonight's fundraiser, we reached. Did she say they reached the amount or passed the amount? Something like that. The point is they did well, right? And what they're gonna do now is the Rock is going to be in a different location, and there's the picture right there. Separate location. All right. Tracy doesn't know anything about this, and neither did Trig. Okay, so she's saying that in 2024 this is going to be happening, and they plan to break ground this fall. That's what she says. Roz get on my nerves sometimes, guys. Okay, so look at Tracy's face. She's like, oh my gosh, what is happening? You know, but to be honest, guys, I kind of feel like Tracy, she don't really fight too much, you know, and we do get to a scene where we understand why. I guess we kind of get into her mind a little bit. I'm thankful that they did that, because I'm like, Tracy, girl, this is for your child. Like, you did this in his memory, and here comes these people just doing whatever the heck they want. Like, how did this happen? You know, and Trig is seeming like he's more upset than Tracy. So he is like pissed off, and he goes to confront Roz, and she was like, listen, you work for me, not the other way around, because he was like, you can't just be doing stuff like this without saying anything to me or to us, you know. And she was like, you work for me. Okay. And she walked off, and he was like, I'm not done with you. So as he was trying to, you know, get her attention to finish the conversation, because I really wanted that conversation to be finished. All right. Jake comes in, and he's like, where's Ma? And he was like, I don't know right now. Like, leave me alone, you know. So that was that. And when Jake came up to him and said that, like, where's Ma? I want to know now. It kind of made me feel like, oh gosh, because Trig kind of like pushed him to the side. Maybe him doing that, he missed the opportunity to save his mother because she was drinking somewhere, but it didn't happen like that. All right. So now we get to this scene where, this is Trig saying, like, what is going on? Like, they didn't say nothing to you. And she's like, nobody tells me anything. And you know what? I just honestly don't feel like I'm worthy to be the face of Rock sometimes. And then she confesses to him that, she was the one who told Ronnie to go after the kid that shot Jason. Okay. And it just so happened that when he found Coogie, for whatever reason, Coogie was wearing Jason's chain. And, y'all know the story, right? And so then she makes the connection. Coogie was friends with Bakari, and Bakari killed Ronnie. And it was all about retaliation. And, he was like, man. So she starts crying and stuff like that because she's saying, sometimes I feel like the only reason why I did this is because, I'm trying to make up for the messed up things. Like, I don't remember everything that she said, like verbatim, guys, but y'all know, right? And he was saying, no, that's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? Hurt people, you were hurt, and hurt people do some messed up things sometimes. But Tracy, you are a light to this community. A lot of this stuff wouldn't even be happening if it weren't for you. And this is true. Tracy be getting on my nerves sometimes, but this is very, very true. It's not like he's pulling this out of a freaking hat. He's right. She does need a little bit of encouragement. And sometimes when I see these two together, I really like their chemistry. And that's why I'm kind of surprised that they didn't allow them to have this opportunity to form something romantic between them two. Because I feel like they have a better, I don't know, this, just my opinion. I like them together, even though they haven't done anything. But I just, even that time when they were going in, on Christmas and they stopped in the hallway, they were praying. I just like seeing them together. So I kind of thought that even from last season, the way that, they carry on with each other, I really thought that they might have tried to, make something romantic, and they missed the opportunity because she wasn't with Duda anymore. And then he, Imani was gone now, but they brought Duda back, and then they brought Fatima in. So, we'll see. You never know, though, because if Fatima turns out to be somebody that we cannot trust, and then we know Duda is not really, we don't trust him like that. So you never know, guys. Okay. Now this was a weird scene to me. It was cute. Not in a way that was like, I don't know, but I just found it kind of cute that she was jealous. Lynnae was jealous. Like, y'all always join by the hip and everything, because you remember he was invited to like this big game tournament. And one thing about these gaming tournaments, guys, they really can make some real money. Okay. So whatever it is, she comes home. I mean, they come home, Kev and it's Simone, right? They come home and, he's about to tell Lynnae what's going on. And Simone reminds him that it's a secret. Like, you cannot tell. And that really annoys Lynnae. Like, really? Like, but your girlfriend know and I can't know. And y'all always up under each other and everything. And she was just pissed off. Like, I hardly ever see you anymore. And then she walks away and he's like, I'm sorry. So, once again, now it's pulling my leg again, guys, to where I'm like, is this jealousy that somebody's taking your brother away, or are you jealous because you kind of like Kevin now? I don't know. I don't want it to be that she likes him romantically, though, honestly, because they're cute as, this friendship that they're forming / brother and sister. Okay. So now we have Keisha and Emmett as well. But this is Keisha left with her thoughts because she finds out about Emmett having the meeting with Tiff. And she feels like she should have been there. I think I should have been there. No, you shouldn't have. I don't agree. Emmett, that was his responsibility. Yes, you should have done this on your own. If you being your part was that you were her friend, right? So you should have had a conversation before all of this drama took place. Okay. That is how I feel about it. That's what she should have done. Because you're just making yourself look ridiculous. Like, you can't be trusted, So, she tells Emmett that she texted Tiff 4 hours ago and she get nothing. All right. Then she tried to call her when Emmett left. And hey, Nothing there again. Voicemail is full. So now we see that Tiffany is just, she has a whole attitude. She's bothered. And Rob is like, what is wrong with you? So she tells him, and he's like, and so what if she could make him happy and stuff, love is complicated and all this stuff, and we gonna have to get through this and blah blah blah. And she's just like, why aren't you ever on my side? And like I said, for me, all I got out of this situation, guys, is that he's too cool. Like, I mean, yes, there are people like that for real, but he's just too cool. And I'm kind of similar to all the people that were hating on my man Christian last season. He's so nice, right? And everybody just thought he had something up his freaking sleeve. Well, for me, it's different. With Rob, I don't know. I don't, he's a weirdo to me. So I'm confused, guys. He's too weird and he's too high all the time. So sorry. What do y'all think about Rob? Let me know. Y'all not getting y'all spidey senses is not tingling like mine. Because to me, I don't know. Let me hear what y'all talking about. Okay, so Faith, Family, and Fun reviews. Hi, I finally caught you live. Yay! Thank you. So glad you're here. Karen Jones said Jake needs her. How can she just leave? Yes, definitely. JT says Keisha always loved Emmett though. She left him because he was immature at the time. He has grown. Yep, that's true. Yep. So how do you highlight non-existent comments? I don't see Havana anywhere in the chat. Oh, well, she was, or he or she was. Puberty. Hey, good night. I have work tomorrow, so I can't stay. Oh, thank you. Have a blessed one. Matthew says they deleted their own comment. But support gaming, I don't understand why you so pressed and you like all up and through the chat. Like, you got time like that, bro? I got love for you, but you got time like that, to be looking through the chat to see who I'm highlighting and who I'm not. Come on now, don't do that. You always got to give the problem. You really a problem child. You know that? You a problem child. Okay? Now, Big Mike 0824. I don't know, Miss K. It's been years since her kidnapping and she didn't sleep with the other dude. Emmett is a familiar face and a past relationship, so it makes sense she's sleeping with him. Okay. Yeah, it might, but I would love, and you know what? And when I say this with all sensitivity. All sensitivity. Someone that has been in the situation that she's been in, meaning they were AR'd, and how long did it take them to finally open up and have sex with somebody? You know what I'm saying? Because I can't speak for that. I just know that a lot of stories that I have heard is where it's very traumatic and they can't just go on and do that. So but hey, let's see. So here goes Havana. Okay. I watched the first episode of the first season recently. Emmett told Brandon when he first met him that Keisha was his girl. Right. And he already had like a 1-year-old, He had a 1-year-old baby. So support gaming. No. So 2 episodes. JT says, so 2 episodes left. No one going to make Duda pay for trying to kill Jemma dad. Right. Listen, I don't know, guys. I don't know what the heck is going on. I'm just reviewing it because it's at this point, I don't even know. Like, y'all see, I don't even make theories about this show anymore because they didn't even like properly, in my opinion, no disrespect to them or nothing like that, but they didn't even properly like follow up on the storylines from last season. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. So Havana is saying Jemma is not keeping that baby. And I wouldn't be surprised if her and Jake break up because of it. But she did say that in the end, she was keeping it. But you know what? You are still, you might still have a point because they made the decision to keep the baby. She made the decision. Here we go right here in this scene. He's like, are you sure you want to do this? And she said, yes. Aren't you happy? It's just almost like, girl, do you want the baby or what? Because you really seem like you're trying to make this Negro happy, which is why it kind of gets on my nerves. I'm not advocating for you to get rid of a baby, but I'm just saying, like, She's too into what he wants. It's very annoying to me. So we did see in the trailer for next week's episode, it's like, how you gonna do all of this? You know what I'm saying? And you about to have a baby. I think Maisha was asking her, like, how you supposed to try to be my manager or helping me with all of this stuff, and you got a baby on the way, you know? So Havana, you might be onto something. She might wind up changing her mind. And who knows? What if she doesn't tell Jake, like you said, and they break up because of that? You know, she don't even tell him. She just go on ahead and do it. Wow. So now this is the final scene where, you know, he comes and he knocks on the door, and one of the ladies, she has to open the door because the mom's not there. Peaches, she's gone, you know, and we find out that she didn't even come home last night. And he's sitting down, Trig is sitting down on her bed. He finds this letter, and she's like, you know, I don't know what the end is going to be, but I do not want to disappoint you guys. And I want your last memory of me to be of someone with a sober mind, you know, clear and sober. And I don't know. I agree with Tamika was it Tamika or Karen? I don't like it. You know, Karen says that she needed him. I'm sorry. Jake needs her. And I think Tamika was saying, like, why would she do that? She need to put on them big girl panties. Like, what are you doing leaving? You just came back. You're clean. Like, you know, the thing about this whole situation is like, all right, they was already leery, especially Trig. This is the reason why he was leery about her coming in and staying at the house and just coming back into their lives. She moved out. She went into the Trinity house, which is fine. All right. So here's the thing. She came in, they had breakfast, you know, she's starting to get close with Jake, and it's like, this is great. But Trig, this is exactly what he was afraid of. So even though she didn't relapse, it's still just as bad because you abandon and you're abandoning Jake. And Trig is a grown freaking man, but he's hurt as well. You know, like he's the one that has to continue to like be strong for his brother, but I'm sure it hurts him also, you know. So this whole thing, I totally agree with you guys that I don't think that Peaches should have done this. I hope she comes back and, you know, she says goodbye for now, you know, but I just hope that everything goes well and she does not relapse. That's all. Somebody says that Quilikia Gilmore, hi, Rob is unbothered. Yeah, he really he really is. Okay. That's true. Support gaming. Rob and Dom should have been together, seeing that they both give 0. Yeah, they don't care. Okay. Tamika says she already disappointed them by leaving. Right. You know, Trig is getting played. Inga says Trig is going to get exposed. And Quilika, I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right, says that Rob goes with the flow and he's unbothered. I've been around men that really don't care about other people's business. Yeah, you know, and I was trying to say that maybe that's that. It's just that, you know, but a part of me always wonder, like, is it just that, or is he, you know, hiding something, like, or you know, because I don't know. To me, that whole sending her in there by herself with the dudes, you know, the men, Nuck, and going to meet the so-called supplier that she did not meet. It was like, what's up with that? You know, like for me, that says weird. That spells weird to me. I don't know, guys. All right. Lawrence Greer, I can't believe this dumb show actually has me looking forward to raising Kanan. Oh my gosh. Oliver Spartan, hey, and hey, LSW. I'm surprised no one has died yet. Right. Everything going too good for everyone. You know, I was thinking that, right? I was like, wait a minute, the shot hasn't killed nobody off in a while. Like, I know, but who was the last person? Ronnie? I was like, listen, something ain't right now. This don't feel right. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This was that was the last scene, basically what happened with Trig and finding that letter that his mom left him. And, who knows? Remember, we were saying that we don't know if she's actually working with Duda. Maybe, I know someone made a good point saying that she probably is working with Duda, but in the end, she's going to choose Trig, which I would love, but I hope that she's not working with Duda in the first place. By this episode, it kind of looks like she's not working with Otis, Duda, and she really just wants to, be a part of her son's lives, or, be a family with them. But then her leaving like that was stupid. It was very backwards, and nah, just not good. So Matthew Wilson says everyone except Papa, they playing him left and right. Bakari about to have him on demon time. That the verdict is still out with that as well, because I feel like they're trying to push Bakari onto a better path, but we'll see. You never know. We will see. And Papa might go on the wrong path as well. So we don't know, guys. Like I said, the way they've been writing things, I don't know what to say anymore with it. But I really appreciate all my night owls. You guys are so wonderful. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you know when I go live and I upload videos and all that good stuff, guys. You guys have a blessed night. Thank you, Tamika and Lawrence Greer, LSW, Support Gaming, Matthew Wilson, Oliver Spartan, JT, and Havana. I'm trying to remember people. Karen Jones, I don't see you, but I remember you were here. So thank you so much, guys. And Daria, to everybody that will come through. Thank you, and have a blessed night. And if you're going to work tomorrow, have a blessed day. Take care. Bye-bye.